What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we have the
best skills to use
for each class. We are going over the PvP skill builds as well as the PvE skill builds that you should choose. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up this video for more amazing mobile gaming content. This was a requested video from one of my lovely viewers. I'm always taking suggestions for videos, so if you have any type of suggestion, any type of video you want to see on Dragon Trail, make sure you go ahead, comment down below any ideas, any information that you want me to share with you. Now, there's two things that I absolutely love in life, and that is first, getting some type of cash back whenever I spend money, and secondly, giveaways. And our sponsor for today, AppGallery, has both of those things going on, as well as an exclusive coupon code. Currently, you can get 20% points back for every purchase through AppGallery in Dragon Trail Hunter World. One Huawei point is equal to €1 or equivalent to the amount in your local currency. Huawei points are a virtual currency sold and managed by Huawei. They can be used to purchase virtual offerings and value-added services through Huawei apps. In the payment page, there is a payment method called Huawei points, so users can use their points to do in-game purchases. So if you spend €100 in Dragon Trail, you can get €20 back in Huawei points, and then use those 20 points to make in-game purchases as well. Gallery also has an exclusive gift code for Dragon Trail Hunter World, and make sure you join the Discord for AppGallery. You can have a chance to win free coupons every week with their giveaways. We're gonna go to the website. We are gonna click download and install AppGallery. Then for selecting a country, make sure you put Italy no matter where you live. We're going to sign up using an email address. We're going to create one. Then we are going to do verification with our phone number. And then we are in. There it is. All of your favorite apps, your mobile games. The best part about it is the rewards and the gifts. All right, my friends, first class we are going to talk about is the warrior class. First up, this would be your PvE build. So we're going to take Mega Sword, Moonlight, and finally Rage. Now, the main idea behind this is you just want to kind of put out as much damage as possible, and mostly looking at the cooldowns. So you have Mega Sword and Moonlight with really low cooldowns. Moonlight is your fastest ability. It only has a 6-second cooldown. The damage is relatively low, but you also do get the slow. Now, for this instance, the slow doesn't really help us too much because this is more for PvE content, and we're kind of just trying to destroy monsters and bosses and stuff like that, but we're able to use this ability a lot more than we would something like Holy Sword, which is a 17-second cooldown. So for that instance, if we take a look, you have 17 seconds and you're putting out 430% damage, whereas Moonlight, you can relatively spam this, we'll say 3 times, which would be 18 seconds, so 1 second higher. That's 660% damage you're putting out because you can spam this 3 times when you can only use this 1 time. Now, this does hit hard. Again, you know, it's initial hit hard, but I just, for PvE content, when you're playing the warrior, you just want to be able to kind of spam your attacks as much as possible. The basic attack for the warrior is kind of like, it's okay, but it's kind of like on the weaker side as opposed to some of the other classes. That's why you just really want to have a lot of low cooldowns for your skills. Moving on to PvP, we have very similar. We're just changing one skill. So we're going to have Mega Sword again. We're going to have Moonlight for the slow, but we are changing out Rage. So we're removing Rage and we're putting in Blow for our stunning effect for PvP. It does have the lower damage, but again, for PvP, we just want to put out as much crowd control ability, so stuns, slows, anything like that to really stop our opponent. Next up, we have the Priest. Now, this is one of my favorite classes in this game. I kind of wish I chose the Priest because I love the AoE damage. So this is our PvE build. We're taking Fallen Fires, then we are taking Lava, and we are finishing it off with Wind Blast. Now, this is going to be different from our warrior build. You'll notice that we are actually taking the higher cooldown skills for this. However, the main reason we chose these 3 skills is because all of these skills are a circular AoE damage. So this is absolutely insane when it comes to PvE content when you're trying to take out mobs of enemies. This is really strong for when you're doing like XP dungeons or any type of dungeons to get different materials and you just have mobs of enemies just kind of grouped up. That's what this build is really good for. All of these skills have a target circle that you just put the circle wherever you want, bam, you do a ton of AoE damage. Now the reason we don't take Phoenix for PvE is because it just sends the Phoenix straight ahead, so it only does damage, you know, straight ahead of you, where all three of these skills are circular damage. That is really, really important. Now for PvP as a priest player, we are going to take Fallen Fires, Phoenix, and finally Frost Root, whatever, I don't know how to read. Fallen Fires is going to give us some circular AoE damage, but the main reason for PvP is the fact that it is only 6 seconds, so we can spam this a lot faster than say Lava or Wind Blast. Phoenix is really good for PvP content, aside from the fact that we get the 20% slow, but this is a good ranged damage because as a priest, you want to stay away from your opponent. And then finally, we take the Frost. This is our CC ability, charges forward through the air, small amount of damage, but more importantly, we get the stun effect, so very important. You're basically always going to take the stun for PvP builds. All right, switching it up, we are heading to the Shadowhunter, aka Assassin next. This is our PvE build. We're going to take Blade Storm, Storms, and finally Splitter. Now, one thing that the Assassin has that a lot of other classes don't is the Assassin has a really good basic attack. Now, a lot of the other classes, their basic attacks are like, they're either okay or they're kind of bad. So because of that, we can take advantage of it and we can take stuff like Splitter for our PvE content. So that way we kind of get that AoE burst around us. So if we get swarmed by enemies, we just pop that, bam, you do a bunch of damage to all of the enemies around you. And you don't care too much about that 17-second cooldown because your basic attack is really strong. Storms gives us some really good AoE damage in front of us, 351% damage in total, which is a pretty decent amount. And then finally, Blade Storms, this is our low cooldown. We can just kind of spam this as much as we want. Spins the daggers, causes a blade storm, does a little bit of damage in total. Next up, we have our PvP build. We're gonna take slalom, whatever, however you say this, Storms, and finally Shadow Strike. This is going to give us that movement speed reduction on our enemy, but more importantly, this kind of gives the assassin like a ranged kind of ability because you throw your daggers and it just travels and does damage to enemies in its path. And then finally, we have Shadow Strike. This is the assassin's best skill in the game. You become invisible, you move 40% faster, you can attack while invisible to deal extra damage, and then you can trigger it again to do a charge forward. This is 100% like your best ability for PvP. You need to use this as much as possible. Really take advantage of this because no other class has something like this, to go invisible, put out damage, and can tap the button again to do like a dash for more damage. So 100% absolutely an amazing skill for the assassin PvP. All right, moving on to the hunter. I don't know what happened to my hunter class. I can't find it. I had one and I don't know where it is. So I just made a blank one just so we could go over these skills, but I have all my notes right here. For PvE, we are taking Trach, however you say this, Multi-Shot, and finally Wild Soul. Wild Soul is absolutely like phenomenal. It is top tier, the best skill the hunter has. You always need to use this. We're using this for PvE and we're using it for PvP. And because its uptime is 8.5 seconds, its cooldown is only like 13 seconds. So you can spam this a lot. Trach is our lowest cooldown, only 6 seconds. We do a bunch of damage in kind of like a small area. This is like our AoE. Multi-Shot is our best for PvE content because it shoots a barrage of arrows in a fan-shaped area. So pretty much any enemy in front of us is going to get hit and take damage. For PvP content, we're taking Dodge, Gale, and Wild Soul. Wild Soul, we already know it's amazing ability. Dodge is going to give us our burst damage. We jump up, we target an area in front of us, rectangular area. We put out 349% damage. Really, really strong. Gale is our crowd control skill. We do a little bit of damage, but more importantly, are knockback and stunned for 1 second. So you're getting a knockback and a stun. And that is it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this best skill builds for all the classes. Stay happy, stay safe, my friends. I'll see y'all later. Peace.